Now we will start our working on category, and we will see our the CRUD function: create, read, update, and delete. So we will create category, and we will show the category. Also, we will edit and update the category. So these are the basic tasks, and the first one is to create a category. So to create a category, let's jump to our editor. Make sure that your server is running and your SQL, MySQL server is running, and also the XAMPP server is also running, and your uh, the Laravel server is also running. Okay, here let's select our categories controller, and let's check to our root web.php, and also let's create category. So when we create a category, so when we submit our form, the form will goes to this root. This root is a category.store, and here in our root file, so we have a root which is a post request. So here we are sending the method post, and the post request goes to categories controller and the store method. So here we will get our request from there. So let's get the first request, and we will get the request object, and let's die dump our request variable object to make sure that we are accessing the request. Okay, let's put some data test and submit. So we are getting the request, and the let's see our request parameter bag what is getting. So we are getting the test value of the form and the company ID and the token. So remember that we have to submit in our categories table the company ID, name. So these two fields will be required in our database. Okay, come to our let's comment this diagram, and we have to require to validate this request. So we will not validate the actual validate function. So in some of our videos we have create our request in a request variable, and we will validate our request into this request. Okay, let's jump to our terminal, and if we have to we need to we require to create a request. So PHP artisan, so you will see there will be request will be created. So PHP artisan make request. So the request name will be create category request. Hit enter and see we have created the request. So in a request file, so we make to return true. So that only the authenticated user can access this request. And here we have to give a parameter in our returning array public function rule. So we will define our rule. So rule is the field name that we are accessing from form is name, and the rule will be required. So it is required. Okay, save it, and in a controller, so we'll need to pull that request and inject that request into a store method. So the request is create category, request, and the variable request. we need to pull that request in our file. So we have injected it, and let's include in our namespace. So I will click this category request and press my short key F5, and it will pull in our namespace also. So let's save it. Okay, so we will create a variable category, and we will uh, create a new instance of our category model. So category model, and we will inject the request into that category model, and we will use the helper function all to inject all the request parameter back into that category model. And here we also have to pull that category model into our namespace. So F5, so it will pull back the category model into our file. Okay, now we have all the request parameter bags into our category variable. So we just need to save this category model by using a save method or save function, and it will store the category name, all the category name and the company ID to our categories table in our database. So when it saves, so we will return redirect. So we will return redirect back to the page where the request from where the request comes back, which is a method, and we will send back with a message that will be show in our session error messages. So message will be a string new category created. So save it. Okay, let's check our database first. So refresh, there is no category. And let's come to our browser, refresh the page. So we will create our first category. So finance. Okay, when we hit submit, so class app HTTP request does not exist. Okay, request create category request. Let's check that. Hmm, class does not exist. I think we have made mistake somewhere in our create request. Let's double check. Create category access is correct. There must be a typing error or that we have missed some symbol. Okay, in our create category request. So it's a true public function rules return name. Here we have an error. Okay, and let's submit our request and the error will be displayed. The name field is required. Okay, the first one is finance. The finance. Let's check to our database and refresh our database. So it's empty. Okay, let's submit. And here parse or syntax are unexpected bracket expecting end of file. So where here is in our problem category model, and where it is category model. So we have an issue right here. We have a two brackets. So it's a typing error while creating the models. So save it and make sure. Okay, close that. Come back and again submit. So now new category created and we can check it in our database. Refresh. So finance is created, and let's create another one, HR, and it will be created, and the IT. So three categories we have created. Let's refresh, and now we are receiving the company ID and the name of the category which are we are receiving. Okay, so stay tuned. In next video we will try to fetch the all the categories and we will display in our index file.